We're making classic chilaquiles with salsa verde for brunch, and we're pairing them with a tequila sunrise. But this is a tequila sunrise like no other, the Gran Centenario Tequila Sunrise Spritz. You're going to love this! To begin with the tequila part, I'm using the Gran Centenario Tequila Reposado, which tastes a little bit like almond, a little bit like vanilla. I'm adding 2 ounces so that I can combine it with 3 ounces of fresh squeezed orange juice, half an ounce of fresh squeezed lime juice. Then you're gonna see the sunrise rising here. I'm adding an ounce of Aperol, slightly bitter, slightly sweet. We're gonna top it with Prosecco. You can use any sparkling white wine. Ooh. That is why they call it the Tequila Sunrise, because of how the colors change here, like when you're watching sunrise, you're at the beach. People ask me for the best recipe for chilaquiles all the time. I think this is one of the most beloved of Mexican classics because what's not to love about chilaquiles? They're saucy, they're crunchy, they're spicy, they're savory. To make a salsa verde, you need tomatillos, which need to be ripe. You don't want them wrinkled, you don't want them mushy. They're delicious. And you're gonna grab 2 pounds, put them in a pot, cover them with water. These are already cooked. Here I have 2 jalapenos and 1 serrano, 2 garlic cloves. You want the tomatillos, the chiles, and the garlic to cook for like 10 to 12 minutes until they're really mushy and soft. I am adding the 2 jalapenos and the serrano because I know I can take all of the heat that's in here, but you may want to add a chile at a time. Puree the sauce and see if you can take more heat. I'm adding the 2 garlic cloves. We're gonna use a slice of an onion with a teaspoon of salt, then a big bunch of epazote, one of the most iconic of Mexican herbs. The leaves are thick and a little bit velvety. It smells a little bit minty, a little bit grassy. If you don't want to use epazote, you can use cilantro. Okay, here's the thing. When you make a salsa verde, you want to puree. You want to puree until smooth, but you don't want to over puree because you still want to get the seeds of the tomatillos in there. See? You still want to get some of that texture. If you puree until completely smooth, you get an extremely silky sauce, which yes, is very delicious, but for chilaquiles, you want a little bit of that crunchy thing from the tomatillos. And this smells like a classic Mexican brunch. I have my heat at medium and I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of oil because we're going to season that salsa verde so that all of the flavors really come together. Oh, we're gonna let this cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to make a couple of sunny side up eggs. You can serve the chilaquiles with shredded chicken, with fajitas, or with flank steak, but today I'm making these for brunch. It's funny because the chilaquiles in salsa verde, it's one of those dishes that every time I touch Mexico, anywhere in Mexico, I get a huge craving for chilaquiles in salsa verde. But the funny thing is I make them at home here all the time. I'm gonna add as many chips as I can get in here without drying the sauce too much. I like my chilaquiles very crunchy, which means I have to eat them fast. Look at this pairing. I'm gonna dive in. With the cream and the cheese and the sauce. This is a messy, delicious brunch. Look at how pretty this is. with the reposado. Has a really nice base. It is fruity, it is citrusy, it feels a little bit nutty. And look at the color, it's just so refreshing. You have this deliciously messy, satisfying brunch dish, and then you have this really bright, light, citrusy drink. It's such a beautiful combination.